So we were down in Mexico. I was on a surf trip with a bunch of college people and a couple of leaders, and we were on a cliff. I think it was like K58, K56, somewhere around there. It's a beautiful spot. You know, we're surfing during the day. We're doing Bible study. It was with the church, and just having a blast. Doing some fireworks, firecrackers, and everything. But at one point, one of the college guys got totally sick. He had a stomach flu. And he got sick inside the tent. I mean, he got sick all over the tent. It was gross, and he was feeling bad, and he felt bad that he did that, but it was just all over everything. So I looked in on him, and I was like the leader guy, and asked him how he was doing. He said he felt really bad about getting sick all over everything. And I walked out of the tent, and I looked at our college group, and I said, I need someone who wants to be like Christ. I need a servant at this point. And all the guys were like, why, what happened? I said, oh, well, Ryan puked all over the tent. They're like, oh, gross. And then one of our leaders, whose name was Kim said, I want to be like Christ. And I said, Kim, I was kind of kidding. She goes, no, really, I want to. And she went in and she cleaned up all of the vomit. And she cared for Ryan. And she literally cleaned out this whole tent. And then when she got out of the tent, I was talking to her about that. And she goes, you know, Tom, I really felt like Jesus was with me when I was cleaning out this tent. And she felt of the whole trip, you know, we had done Bible studies, we had done worship. She felt it was at that point of serving someone else that she felt closest to Christ. And I've never forgot that story, because it reminds me that when we serve, when we give to others, we are like Christ. And in the book of Philippians, Paul talks about how Jesus was in the form of God, but did not count equality with God something to be grasped, but he emptied himself, taking on human likeness, taking on the form of a servant. But more than that, being a servant who went to the cross, and then after the cross, God highlighted him or exalted him. And it was in the act of obedience of serving someone else that God totally lifted him up. And then right after that in Philippians, Paul says, now, I want you guys to live out a life of obedience. And eventually he goes, and when you do that, you're going to shine like stars compared to a whole world that is sick and twisted. You're going to shine like stars if you do that without grumbling and without arguing. When we serve others, when we act without grumbling and complaining, we stand out because we live in a culture that calls service or humility something not to be attained. But as those who follow Christ, we are to serve with humility. So I invite you this week, next week, do you want to be like Christ? If you do, take advantage of an opportunity to serve someone else and let the compassion of God show through you, and you will shine like a star in the universe. All right, I hope you're having a great week.